We are on a kitchen renovation journey. So far, we've done the windows and Grant has built the pantry, and now we're on to the next story. Welcome back. Today, we are continuing to work on the kitchen, and the next big decision we are making is what hardware to use for all the handles and pulls and everything like that. So we asked our designer that's helping us with this, and she gave us all these different books. And you would not believe how many different options are in all of these catalogs. It's crazy. So Grant and I sat down and we went through all of them. It was kind of easier than I thought, actually, to make a decision on the ones we definitely did not like. That was pretty quick. We could just say no, 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 no. And then I went and put these little tabs on the pages, on the ones we did like. And we came to the conclusion that on all of the drawers on the bottom and the doors on the bottom, we are going to be putting handles. And then on the top, we are going to put knobs. So that's just to break it up so the whole kitchen doesn't look handle, 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 handle. And just visually, we think it would look better. That was actually Grant's idea, and I said, that's fine. I'm happy if he wants to go with a certain thing. That's fine. It's one less decision that I have to make. So we ended up, after going through all these catalogs, deciding on two different handles from this one. It's called Jeffrey Alexander by Hardware Resources. I don't know. So we found this handle here, that decision, and then we also found this style right here. And we went back and forth. We decided to just order both of those so we could see them in person. That's what our designer suggested as well. She said, order whatever you like so you can get the feel of it and hold them up to the cupboard, see what you like. I feel one style is a very modern kind of look, very sleek, and the other one has a little bit more character. Here's the more sleek option. It's very basic. This is something that is almost identical to what we have in our bathroom. I didn't realize it at first, and then once we ordered, I said, hey, this looks familiar, and it's very similar. Then we also got this style, which has a little bit more character around the edges, and it goes wider in the middle here. Very similar, and we went with the brushed nickel. This is just what we tend to like in our homes. So we did this in our last home, and now we're doing it again. And I know they can vary. I've actually seen some designers say it's fun to mix up different styles, like have gold and have both. It doesn't really matter, but I just think it kind of makes our house look a little bit more put together when it all matches from room to room. That's just my take on it. I know it really doesn't matter. I just find it easier, like, let's just pick one and go with it. After holding this up to all the cupboards, we ended up liking this style better. It just has a little bit more detail around the edges. So we ended up liking this, and we said, let's just go with it. We ordered it, and we ordered the knobs as well. And then Grant's gonna be adding this to the pantry.
All right, so today I'm putting in the hardware for the pantry. So I got some pulls to do. I got 5 doors and 2 drawers. I'm going to make a jig just to speed up the process. I wouldn't probably normally do a jig for 7 doors, 5 doors, 2 drawers. But I'm going to be using the same jig later on for the rest of the kitchen. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll show you how I do it. So you can go and probably not do it. That's a handle. They're all the same. So how you have to do it is that line on the handle here needs to be, I'm going to take you in there and show you. So there's only one way to put a handle on a shaker door, a pull handle, whatever you want to call it. So this bottom rail, whatever, the bottom of the pull, not where the screw goes, but what you see, the bottom has to be in line with it. Okay, so this line will line up perfectly with that bottom style, and then the center of the rail. And it'll be the same here. Can't see that? Okay, you can kind of. So there is no ifs, buts, or maybes. That's how you do it. Anyone who does it differently is incorrect. And do not pay them. Tell them they did it wrong. And for the drawer faces, it's always center of the panel. So the center of the panel. And that's just obviously, that's what the police are for. If that's not followed, probably at least 6 months of prison time. At least picking up trash on the freeway if you don't do that. Like, don't put them here, don't do it. No, it's got to be in the center. All right, so my jig's not going to work for these. I always hand measure the drawers. There's fancy sliding jigs that you can purchase that work for these, but I don't do enough to buy that jig, and I'm not making a sliding jig because I'm not a magician. So I'll just hand measure these with my measuring tape and some tape. We'll get to that later, but let's make the jig. You're rambling, man, you're rambling. So I kind of started with this jig a little bit, and then I thought, I should film this because everyone's going to want to see this. It's going to be pretty big. Probably break the net. Broken! Alright, so I've got some scrap, and I'm just locating where I want to put my holes right now. So when I measure the center holes for any kind of hardware, you don't have to measure from the center of the center of the hole to the center of the hole, because that's kind of a bit of a guessing game. So I measure from the very top of one of the holes, so like the top of that hole to the top of that hole. It's the same as center to center. It's just a lot easier to measure. So I'm in the States, I'm using inches. If you're on Earth, use millimeters. It'll be easier too. If you can see, can you see? So I hold it on 10 inches. I burn that just, and then it's 6 and 5. What's that? 6 and 5/16. And I just do that because this end just gets in the way of everything. And I don't like to really use it for, it's good for framing, but it's not really accurate for anything else. This line here is just going to represent the piece of plywood, this piece here, and I've got to measure the stiles and rails are 2 1/4, so I'm going to measure 1 1/8. 1 1/8. So if I'm measuring anything like an inch, I just put the tape on whatever. 7, doesn't matter. Just measuring over 1 1/8. Got the line. Phew. All right. So I just got to attach these 2 pieces here, and they will line the jig up on the door. The lighting, it seems good in here, but just on camera it doesn't seem that good. So I'm going to flip it over and use a staple nailer, because staple nailers are cool. And that's all I need for the jig. I just got to drill the holes where I mark them, and it's just a jig I'll use with a clamp, or you can even hand hold it while you drill. You'll see. I'm going to use a 3/16 brad point tip. So, yep. It could be off by an inch or something, like, knowing me. I didn't show it, but yeah, the jig's got 2 sides, so it's reversible. I didn't film it, but it is. I just used super glue to put the other side on. With, and they can only see the top of your head. Okay, don't touch. I'm going to help you here today. How do bye? You got your drill, buddy? The jig just clamps on. I just got this little hand clamp. It'll hold it in place. Stop. Oops, went through. I didn't want to go through. But it's okay, it's not too bad. But because this jig's reversible, I can drill from both sides. So that way I'll get a cleaner finish. I'm going to put the handle on and make sure it worked good before I drill the rest.
We did a new thing on, the no one is that, the we done. And we watched the glues, and we got screws.
Exactly, we got screws. We got the screws. Looks like the holes line up pretty good. So.
That's my one. I like it.
You like it?
Yes, I like that one. That's my one.
So I find like where I think center is. Right. So I'm gonna find center this thing this way, center that way. 6 5/16, half of that, 3 1/8 strong. So I measure from the center, 3 1/8 over, strong. Now just to be sure, I'm going to measure that mark from this point and the same. And they should be the same, but if they're not, something's a little off. And rinse and repeat. What's half of 13 and 11/16? So this is why I like metric. Cut, well, I use my brain.
Cut what happened?
Well, I'll probably cut this out, but I was measuring all this and it was like, so I gotta find center. And like, the good thing about when you're filming is I can edit this whole thinking process out and make it look like I came up with the answer really quickly.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna look so good. You guys. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a pro. It's actually not showing it.
Cool.
No, let
It
me,
was not showing it.
hang on.
It is.
I'm gonna tell my wife a pro hack.
Pro hack.
Okay.
Tell me.
Saving money. Hardware's not cheap, right? Do we need 2 handles? No, because look, you open one, and now you can just use your hand to open the other one.
Oh yeah. The kids are gonna love that. Dirty handprints.
So with the drawer faces, you do not want to over tighten because you can cause cracking around these edges here with the paint. So don't do that. There's no need to get too tight. There it is. It's weird, eh? All the handles are clustered in one little spot. But it is what it is. There's some drawer boxes. Yes. Alright, signing out. That's it. Done.